Turning now to new reports of chaos at Donald Trump's Department of Justice. New today, Politico reporting on a legal loophole which would allow Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche to stay in the role for months without Senate confirmation, citing a federal statute that authorizes the president to keep an acting AG in place for 210 days, meaning Blanche's clock runs out just days before the midterm elections. Politico also noting the job appears to be Blanche's to lose, quoting one senior White House official who reportedly told them Blanche is, quote, racking up wins. This as many in Trump's cabinet are looking over their shoulders. A top White House official telling Politico that FBI Director Kash Patel is likely next, saying Trump is fed up with the negative stories about him. The FBI is declining to comment on all that. This all following an explosive report from The Atlantic, which states, quote, Patel has alarmed colleagues with episodes of excessive drinking and unexplained absences. Patel is suing The Atlantic for defamation, but the magazine says they stand by their reporting. Joining me now on all of this is Maya Wiley, former SDNY civil prosecutor and CEO of the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights. I want your big thoughts on the state of Trump's Justice Department, but also just a sort of like legality check on what's happening with Todd Blanche here. Is it really fine for him to stay in this interim acting position for the next 200 or so days?
You know, there are really two ways to look at the Todd Blanche question. I mean, one is we have competing statutes, and some legal experts will say, no, Trump can't do this because there's a statute that has a limit on time. And then others will say, well, no, but there's another statute that doesn't have a time limit. So you have a competing statute problem. Even legal experts have differing views. This is a contested area. But the other way to look at it is what changes, whether he's interim or not interim. The demand from Donald Trump is a department that serves him, not the people of this country. The audition that Todd Blanche is engaged in is one that is about proving that he will continue to be Donald Trump's lawyer rather than the lawyer of the people.
Where do you see the evidence for that? What tells you he's auditioning right now?
Well, let's look at what the Politico article itself said from someone unnamed from the White House. You put the quote in there. Todd Blanche is, quote unquote, winning. Winning because he is bringing indictments against organizations like the Southern Poverty Law Center, which, full disclosure, is a member organization of the Leadership Conference, a long-standing civil rights organization, one that has called Trump allies, like the Proud Boys, people he has pardoned, hate groups and extremists. Like we also know that they're fighting for fair maps in southern states when Donald Trump is fighting for gerrymandering. So what's the big win here? Because there's an indictment of a civil rights organization that does lawful advocacy work on behalf of people who are poor, people who are black, people who are brown. And when a Todd Blanche is actually, he already has a demonstrated record of being a Trump loyalist and being willing to use the position in the number 2 slot, like what we saw with the Epstein files and his meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell, and her now ending up in a cushier situation. There is really a long list, and we don't even have time to go through it all. But I would say the White House person who was interviewed themselves made it plain. If he's going after people Trump wants persecuted...
And that is success?
That is success, because it's not even winning the persecution, by the way. The very act of using the power of government to try to silence people who are disagreeing with Donald Trump, people who are using the rights that we have under this Constitution to protect people. That's what's at stake, and that's what Todd Blanche is willing to do.
So then why do you think FBI Director Kash Patel isn't on more solid ground? I mean, he has done his very best to push anyone he thinks is a perceived enemy of the president out of the FBI, even though we've had expert after analyst after former FBI official on this air describing how dangerous all of that is for the American public, the risks, the domestic and international risks that could bring for all of us. Sure, there have been the headlines of him drinking with, Olympians and all of that. But it seems like he gave it his best shot. If that is the rubric, he gave it his best shot.
Oh, well, so did Pam Bondi under that rubric, or Kristi Noem. I mean, a lot of the people he's pushed out went hard for him. It wasn't whether they went hard for him. It's did they also bring blowback? You know, and I think it's one of the strengths of the advocacy and the protest and so much of the work we're seeing with normal folks just saying, you know what? This is a problem. It's a problem if Kristi Noem doesn't care if citizens are getting killed by ICE. It's a problem if Kash Patel is getting his girlfriend, not only security detail, is, you know, going after journalists for being journalists, but also the drinking. I mean, I don't know. Kash Patel got an oversight letter from Representative Jamie Raskin, which was the first time I've ever seen a member of Congress essentially ask for a breathalyzer from an appointed. And some of the reporting on that was that they don't like the distractions. In other words, it takes away from the fear they're trying to drive when the very people they want to drive the fear are under attack.